nice to meet you. And I'm from China, and gladly is Mr. Hans and Thomas invited us to come here, and I want to just speak up our company. We want to share some views in China market. So let's start to the first video. Go ahead. So this is our short
PowerShare, the future has come, and mature driverless car on the market can be expected soon. The autonomous driving technology has redefined our request for the convenience of travel, which has greatly stimulated our longing for smart and convenient life in the future. How will autonomous vehicles charge themselves? We redefine fully automatic cable and wireless charging for eMobility. Artificial intelligent charging robot from PowerShare solves the automatic charging problem of driverless car and realizes the real and unmanned digital age. Please imagine that we will never worry about charging trouble again. When we leave after arriving in the destination, once we turn on the smart charging system through a smartphone, the car will automatically go to the free charging area to enjoy robot charging service, which creates a comfortable journey for us. Travel in the future will be safe, quick, and easy. PowerShare is a leading high-technological IoT enterprise for electric vehicle charging solutions. We aim to be an auto-charging service and intelligent energy provider in the autonomous EV era.
Thank you. And we are doing the charging, and not just in the current year. We are also thinking about the future. So we are now working with the Daimler and other China OEMs, focusing on the auto parking and the autonomous, how no one in car, how to charging themselves. So we are now doing the auto robotic charging. This is our company what doing in the hardware. And but now we are just come back focusing on the charging market in China, because we are doing almost 3 years about the charging software and hardware in China to produce the chargers and produce the systems to the players in the EV market. So at the last years, the Chinese market is very exchanged, and the rapid exchange the market in China. And also it's not just on the AC and also the DC chargers. But what we researched by our system, our big system from our platform, we have also interviewed our customers about what they are thinking about why they purchase the EVs, because this is important to help the charger operators or other OEMs to help provide the best solution for the client. So in China, people are most concerned about the EV ranges, because right now everybody knows the Tesla is a high EV ranges, but most of the China OEMs is just started. The new EVs is just the beginning. So the EV ranges is more important for our customers in China. And also is about the charging stations, and also because in China, right now, actually most of the important area, people will drive on the CP mall or other important areas, but it's less for charger stations in this area, because in China, the house stays and many other important things is expensive to open the charger station in the important area. So that is our facing the problem in China. And also, what is where the chargers likely to charge? Many of the people are most like to charging at the office and the malls, because in China it's hardly to ask your house grant to install the chargers, because the power is hardly to application. So many people are likely go to the charger at the office or their malls. And the second choice is they are going to the faster charging stations. Also, we are thinking about the future, because China's state grid is focusing on the high power chargers in future. So we think the public chargers is more important than the personal charger at your home. This is we are analyzed from the past 2 years because people are more likely now to go to the public chargers in China. And also the BEV ranges distribution, because people use the EVs is just for their second car vehicles. It's not their family first cars. So normally people just use the EV cars to drive to their office or to their schools. So this is why the ranges in China right now is just a shortly requirement in China. So it also means that the people is not needed to charge every day. They just needed to charge, go to the 1 week, actually is 1 time for their EVs. And also right now, the EV market is also about the charger market in the major cities in China. And because people will find the top 10 cities in China who can huge the EVs and the huge chargers. Why? Because this is a place. Because in China, for example, in Beijing and the Shanghai, a car license is very important and it's hardly to get. Even, for example, in Shanghai, even you get 80,000 US dollars for a license, but it's still harder to get because you should wait in the long list. So normally people if they want to buy an IC car, they should need 2 years to get the Shanghai car license. So people will be changed to purchase the EVs. This is the place. So that is why the policy is important from the government to support the EVs and support the chargers market. And so we will find that this top 10 cities is in the area of the Beijing area and Shanghai and also is the Guangzhou, Shenzhen. These are 3 important areas in China for the EV market. So that is why also people will know that some top CPOs, charger operators, is also focusing on this area, and this is their headquarters in China. And but in China, there's another different how to cooperate to open the charger stations and how to operate the chargers. First one is such like a State Grid and the Telgrid. They will operate by themselves. Another is OEM based on OEMs. For example, the SEC, they invest the EV card and also invest the annual chargers, and they will expand their charger network in Shanghai area to help the OEMs to sell their cars for the SECs and also the BYDs. And the other is different business models, such like BOTs or the car sharing companies to build the charger network for themselves. Especially the EV card is from the SEC. The EV card, this company is now working in China, is the biggest car sharing. So their car sharing needed the biggest charger networks. So this right now we know that they have almost 1,000 chargers in China. Is the biggest the network. So this is different operation, the charger network in China. But we still think in the future, maybe some is not very good, but we are not confirmed because at the last 3 or 2 years, we are analyzed the CPO market. At the beginning, because the CPO market need a bigger money, big fund to invest. So at the beginning, is the top CPOs, they are more successful in the past 2 years. Everybody will know that. And the top 10 CPOs control the 8% market of the charger networks. But currently, we will find the top CPOs now their coverage, their percent is growth down. It means the many of the small or medium the CPOs grows because they can provide the best service for the locals. And also they are the good relationship with the local government. Because with good relationship with the local government, they can get the parking, get the powers. So that is why we think in the future, many of the small CPOs will be expand in the market. So that's why thinking that we are also discussing with Hubject, and I think in China, Hubject will be more successful, or other companies or similar business models will be more successful in China, because I think China is bigger than Europe, and also is bigger, is not the area, it's bigger means I think the EV market is very big, because the China government is a big support. For example, we are now working with some government platform. So government platform, we build them similar like we will collect all the CPOs in this area. And all these CPOs data will come from the government platform. We monitor their chargers. We analyze, and also this platform, the main purpose is give the subsidy. For example, the Shanghai government, we help them to give them 2 billion RMB subsidy for the CPOs. So that is the CPOs why I want to build their CPU backend systems, enhance them, and provide the best POI management to the government. And the government will be monitor all the CPOs to let them work the best for the EV drivers. And then if they work the best, then government can support the subsidies. This is a good ecosystem for the China, I think. So this is also all the data that we analyze from the monitor system. So we are best known about for in China. And so I will do the quick shortly introduce our companies. PowerShare is the eMobility company. We are also doing the IoT solution, because at the beginning I sold a company to big companies and then start these new companies. Right now we are working with Daimler, BMW, and the BAG and many OEMs. Our company is focusing on OEMs and also focusing on the government marketing, because our IoT platform systems can help them to provide the best service for their EV drivers, or provide the best service for government to control the subsidies. Because in China, people will know that at 2 years ago, many of the CPOs is a liar. They lie the government to get the money of the subsidies. So that is why the government right now ask our company to build a bigger monitor systems, connect all the CPOs and collect all the data. It's not just the static data, it's also about the dynamic data and the payment. And so that is government will know who is really doing the charger business, or other companies just to lie the government to get the subsidies. So this platform is important in China. And also we provide some CPU backend systems for the CPOs. And this is our provider for the government to monitor all the CPOs situation, to help them to. Also because it's not just online to monitor the situation of the electric chargers. Also we build teams to the offline investigate, because many of the CPOs, their backend system is not very so good. They upload the data, especially the POI data is not very especially correct. For example, the position. And many people will be navigated by the apps in China, but the POI, the position is not the right position. And also is many different, some is closed or some is changed. So that is why the systems monitor real time is more important to help. For example, right now in Shanghai, there is almost 70 CPOs and plus, and this CPO number is still grows. So that is people is hardly to find the nearest charger stations for their EVs. So government now is produced apps called the linear apps, and through this one app, and the Shanghai citizens or other areas, people can use this app, can find the nearest all the charger stations, no matter which CPU providers. This is a project we call for the citizens. So it's all free for the CPOs, and all the fund is supported by the government. I think it's the best because if you not use these uni apps to support to help the EV drivers, it's very hardly, and people will be needed to install almost 70 apps in their iPhones or Android phones. It's very terrible. So one app will finish this situation. And another is important is about, as we said, investigate. And we will find some CPOs, they are not very good for the CPU-backed systems. So right now, we also provide the CPU-backed system as free for some small CPOs. And this fund is also from the government, because government wanted to help the small CPOs provide better service and help them to support them. And that is our Chinese situation right now. And also, we also provide some app solutions for our CPOs. And also, our platform is not just for the government. Also, we have some support. And this is also the fund is from the government or some from bigger CPOs. We call it the SaaS platform. And because some local CPOs is just one station or two stations, so they do not need to invest such money to backend system. They don't need to purchase the backend system. They can just use the SaaS platform. And this platform will be the unique, their logos, their URLs, and their brands. So it's all for the CPOs, it's all free. And the money is from the government or the OEMs to support these small CPOs. And in China, we build because in Taiyuan City is typical the EV scenarios in China, because in this city, they replaced all the taxi into the EVs. And there is almost 8,000 EVs in one city. So it's a huge charge demand required in these cities. So we support almost 20 or more CPO stations in these areas. And this area, because the taxi is running every day, so this charging is very huge demand, and people can earn lots of money from that. So that is I think, is the future, is the best solution. So thank you.